As soon as
Okay,
we're ready to record.
I started the recording.
Okay, Shane's going to lead us in with a nice video song here.
Please like and subscribe.
Yes.
All right.
So I totally hosted up. Good.
All right.
All right. So if you're riding or driving in your car right now, not watching the video, that was the North Korean military chorus cranking out the tunes, apparently. So in our country, you have like the band members that maybe didn't play football or what weren't jocks or maybe weren't the most popular kids all the time. Do you think it's the same way in North Korea?
No.
Yeah, it's probably different.
Slaves, and they were told to play that or they would die.
I think
I
was
think
the
that's the way it used
tryouts.
to be. I think nowadays it might actually be a little freer.
Maybe that was part of the tryout.
And
Either
of
do
course
this.
nowadays it's actually Rage alongside the Machine.
Yeah, no shit.
All right.
They sold out.
I love that. It's good stuff. All right. So a couple things we can talk about. Last week we had a couple good sessions, so we covered a whole myriad of things. One of them was we mentioned the Twitter whistleblower, and I had to actually look up his name because I knew he had some kind of weird nickname, but his name was Peter Zatko with a nickname of Mudge. So I don't know what the hell Mudge is or where that comes from, but
It's just like a hacker name.
certainly, and yeah, maybe it's like Neo in the Matrix,
Yeah.
right?
My name is Mudge.
There's a song in there too, probably.
Primus,
So I think
yeah.
he was a former head of security at Twitter.
Yeah, I think so.
So he had a pretty high position in Twitter. He wasn't just like a normal line worker, if Twitter even has line workers, but he came out with a report or a release. I think it was something on the extent of 200 pages. Now, I haven't seen all the details of this 200-page report, but it has a lot of details about certain security failures that are happening in Twitter right now. He even mentioned the possibility of foreign state actors being part of Twitter leadership. Now, I don't know if specific people are mentioned in there or even countries are mentioned. I don't know if he mentions like, hey, North Korea has a spy in Twitter or China has these positions in Twitter and has influence in Twitter, but he implies that, or he definitely mentions that possibility. And one of the main points he makes in relation to the way Musk is dealing with Twitter and his takeover was the number of spam or fake bots that are in the Twitter universe. And he says that they probably will never have an accurate measure, an accurate estimate of how many fake bots there are or spam bots there are. And I'm not sure it really is in Twitter's best interest to even track that and have to release that information. It would certainly be beneficial to Elon Musk in his fight to take over the company or not take over the company. So this was a little bit of information coming out recently. There's not a whole lot on it, but if you want to read the 200-page detailed report on it, I don't know where it is. So I imagine if you could get your hands on that, that would be really good. I don't know if you guys have seen anything from that or not.
Yeah,
I-
well, another
Go
thing is they do, I saw a brief interview, with, he had an interview on, I think, NBC. So a major media, interview with somebody. And I can't remember, it was a video basically, of a woman who basically reads body language and basically kind of tries to debunk her when people are telling lies or when people are nervous about saying certain things. So that she kind of like reviewed the video. And I'm wondering now if that's not like a plant that they put in or a stooge that they put in to kind of clear Twitter of any specific wrongdoing or bad stuff. Because as far as I know now, Elon's saying he doesn't want to buy Twitter at all, and he's totally backed out. So right now, I think
Yeah.
Twitter's actually suing Elon for something to that effect, or something of that, or maybe some other measure. But now it looks like Twitter's just trying to backtrack it. I think especially with this whistleblower. To me, if you're a true whistleblower, you're not going to go on a national media or regular media because they wouldn't even have you on. You would have to go on some obscure show like Alex Jones, or well, Alex Jones is not obscure, but some other place. They wouldn't put you on NBC interview at all. So I thought that was fishy. But I don't, I've only just saw that one thing, and that was today, and I did pay super close attention, so I don't know a whole lot about it.
So do you think Twitter would be planting him in there to release
Right.
this information?
Yeah,
Okay.
just like possibly to get them out of legal trouble. So if more stuff comes out, or if it's come to find out like it's all bots, or it's like 90% bots and it was all orchestrated and this is all bad, then they can backtrack and or maybe they can get away with some stuff, or they can say, well, no, it's not this because this whistleblower said it's this, this, and this, and it's not really that bad. So maybe to get back on people's good side. I know that he did say something about, no, there's not that many bots, or, there's not anywhere close to as many bots as Elon says. So that's not an issue. Stuff like
Yeah.
that.
And I've certainly heard some high estimates about the level of bots that are on Twitter.
Yeah, and why wouldn't
But
you have? Yeah, obviously,
Yeah.
if you can do that, you're gonna have tons and tons. Obviously, why wouldn't you do that if you can do that? So it's stupid to think, oh no, there's only like 10%. Like you wouldn't even have any bots. If it was 10, you would have 90% if you could have bots on there. You
Yeah.
don't not to.
I believe Elon retweeted a gentleman who said there were 7 out of 10 users on Twitter were bots. And that
Yeah.
was today. And not only that, I believe there was an accusation of a few months ago, it might have been even like up to 6 months ago, of Twitter creating, using AI to create these little paradises for people, to where you go into Twitter and it creates this sphere around you of people who agree with you, but it's all bots. And they're like, yeah, they're liking your tweets. You say whatever you want. Nobody else sees it because you're ghosted. But you've got these followers that randomly pop up and they like your tweet. They might say something, hey, great idea, things like that. So you are shelled off from the rest of social media, but yet you're participating, you're active, and you're enjoying it too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet you that is true. I can fully see that being what they're doing.
Yeah. And based on your political background or your affiliation or your opinions in the world, they could actually control the amount of information that you see or the amount of information that you post that gets out.
Right, and they do
with
that,
the,
yeah.
and with the bots, they can completely fake both sides of that equation.
Right.
So I don't know, it's a little scary out there. I think Twitter, it's being shown that Twitter is probably not exactly what most people think it is,
Right,
but are people paying attention? That I don't know.
probably not.
So if you're out there and you think Twitter is a great source of information, you may want to double think that. I don't know. Everybody should probably think for themselves, but I don't really pay that close attention to Twitter anyway.
Or just know that it's skewed, and so you can still take the information for what it's worth, but just know it's potentially skewed, or you're only getting one
Yeah.
side one-sided information, put it that way.
Yeah, that's probably even a better way to say it, is assume that it's skewed. Like
Right.
you can watch CNN and you can actually get a certain
Yeah.
amount of good information on it. And you can also watch Fox News and you can get a certain amount of good information on it, but no, both of those sources are skewed in certain directions.
Right.
So I think as long as you know that going in, that probably helps you out.
Yeah, you guys remember earlier when I showed you the picture of the Hunter Biden, the Mar-a-Lago with the Hunter Biden Photoshop
Yeah.
over?
Yeah.
Apparently, a new breaking exclusive is the actual photo that was edited was also edited. The
But-
FBI doctored the photo. They added their own
Bef-
documents.
Before you pull that up, let's talk a little bit about that, because
Sure.
apparently the FBI staged this photo op to show a little bit of the documents that they supposedly pulled out of Mar-a-Lago and that Trump had. So yeah, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Again, if you're driving or listening to this while not watching your screen, you're gonna definitely want to look at this one.
Maximize this bad boy real quick. So, browsing. So Trump, as I understand, Trump shouldn't have even had access to these. They would have had to been added after the fact for the photo op.
So getting Trump's lawyers to be present, I'm normally allowed that. Yeah,
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
Rudy